24.5 kilometers from home. They go around here and it's strung out, and we knew this would happen. It's like treading on a tube of toothpaste. It just squirts out the front and the main body's left behind in the tube.
Yeah, it has to happen, I think, for the safety of the whole peloton. You know, you've got so many difficult places around this circuit that, you know, you want to keep it safe as you can. Now we can clearly see that Barry and Victoria, so that the team that have taken the nose of the peloton, Red Bull on the right, not that far away, Ineos also on the left-hand side, Josh Tarling right up there towards the front. But yeah, when there's so much noise in the left and rights, and you know, it's just so dangerous, these finishes in the Giro.
Jimmy Jansen, who's part of the lead-out train, but it's an extra long one. He's kind of 6 if you're counting down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe he's done his job just to get Caden Groves and his teammates on to the circuit. Plowright, of course, Plankett, Timo Kielich, Quinten Hermans, likewise, but all for Caden Groves ultimately. Here is your geometry. So we're on it, Brian, and it's strangely the road system here in Lecce, it kind of mirrors some county towns that you get. Go and have a look at the road system of Norwich, for example, in Norfolk. It's like a star. It's like it's burst from an epicenter. And as a result, all of those little concentric rings that go around the center, we're dealing with them now. So you can cut across town, but then ultimately you're going to end up on one of these rings, like ultimate ring roads designed by the Romans back in the day. And so you'll see some long swoopers as well as 90-degree turns as we go from one outer ring to another. We hit those rather uncomfortable, if you will, intersections where they meet up. So you get these 90-degree turns, and then you get some big old swoopers, and you're never quite sure, even if you've seen it once, Brian, where you are on the circuit. Yeah,
I was just going to concentrate on Primož Roglic. He's there on the right-hand side. He looks comfortable. He's got Tratnik with him, but I think, you know, looking at that helicopter shot just there, that you see a lot of the yellow jerseys being pushed down to like 25th, 30th position. So they were right towards the front before we came onto it. They get mobbed a little bit coming onto the circuit, but yeah, look, there's a long way to go, but you don't want to be too far back in this peloton because there's so many dangers around this circuit.
You know, there are so many twists and turns, and check that out as well. I mean, that needed some kind of klaxon, didn't it, really, to guard
Wrong
against.
sides.
If you're on the right, remember this for next time by. And Coy's boys, most of them went the right way. Touch of wheels down. Somebody from Lidl Trek. Oh, Pedersen has had another niggle here. And was that Ciccone who was on the deck? We'll find out in a few moments' time. I hope not. No, don't want to see anyone down there. But Pedersen again squeezed out of it, and here we go. Get yourself back on if you possibly can. Well, that's a big lead-out man, don't forget. Formas Pedersen, and he looks hurt, Brian.
Yeah, no, it was. You could see there was.
You can't do it.
I think it was a picnic post and L rider. It was very close, and he had to swerve to the left-hand side to miss that bollard, and possibly caused a bit of a reaction, but. Yeah, that intake of breath that I had there, that was dodgy. Look, there's still time, but I don't think they have to panic for the moment anyway. And I think Mats Pedersen will come up, but it's just so dangerous.
I don't think so. And Crow's going to get back in this one. Let's have a look. This is that Chili Jelly. Yeah, exactly. Left-hand side is where most of them went. And Crow on the deck, and he has taken an awful long time to get back on to his bike. I think that's our breakaway man who's on the deck as well here after all the efforts he's put in. And it goes on. Soren Krauw is the tangle, and he didn't look in any hurry to get back on. Whatever, Brian, he's not going to be part of the lead-out today.
No, he won't be part of the lead-out, but I'm having to think, they're forcing everybody around one way here. Why didn't they do it in the previous?
I don't know.
Just force everybody in single. Don't give them a choice, because in a choice, they all went to the left-hand side, right-hand side to miss that bollard down front, but that just caused a bit of a pinch point in the left-hand side.
20 to go. Well, now you know what you're dealing with. Got to come back there again, don't forget. Crow corner, maybe they're going to call it. I don't know. Interesting that The Red Bull team are kind of on the blower at the moment. They're getting their strategy sorted out for delivery today. Don't forget they've put the safety. That's the circuit. See what I mean? It's a nightmare. So add 11 onto everything, and you find where you are. So we're just coming down to this 10K marker, essentially. Just past that. So it'll be a right-hander next if the map is correct and our geometry is correct. And there you go. Down they come. So that will be essentially, that was the 10K to go marker that we've just seen for later on. That's where we'll be taking account of it. So slightly out of it. Let's hear from Anders Milker, who's on the finish line, while everyone is giving this a great deal of respect. I think this is possibly to allow so many teams who got caught out. No, what a squeeze this is! My goodness, no!
It's not going to happen.
Careful!
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Careful! Oh, 8 into 4 wide in a very, very short order. And is the pink jersey still back here?
Yeah, it has to be.
There he is. Oh my goodness! And it just goes on. Oh, wow.
Turner.
Well, Ben Turner is supposed to be principal sprinter for Ineos Grenadiers today. Josh Tarling possibly taking over that. Here's Ben just getting himself through. Ambulances involved. Cars all pulled up. Bit of a compression. Gets himself through. Just about makes it there. This is horrible, Brian.
No, I have to say that's too dangerous. You cannot go from, what, over 2 lanes just to 1 lane. That can't happen. Cannot happen. That's just too dangerous.
Just has happened. 7K.
Luckily for the riders got through that, but I just think it can't happen.
7K marker, underpass to be dealt with as well. They were funneled into it. There's a right-hander to come up in a few moments' time. It's all kicking off here with 18.7 kilometres to go. One of the most dangerous approaches we've seen to a finale. Let's hope they get through. Here's Anders. Yeah. The compression into 3.5 meters, it looked a little bit more than that, but nonetheless, that's avoiding the feet of the barriers, don't forget as well. So, yeah, 4 meters, a compression. We've just seen what's happened to that. And with this stretching and then recompression, Brian, that we're getting almost as a constant within this circuit, it's actually very dangerous.
Yeah, that's why we saw a way out, and we mentioned at the time, that information about the pinch points in this circuit, because the staff have already got here and they've kind of driven in the last part of the course on the circuit, and that information's got back out. That's why we started over 30 kilometres ago riding into this circuit. That's why it was so nervy, purely because the information that was coming back from the other staff members that are already here. So yeah, we've got to go round it again, but for Mads Pedersen, he still has time to get round. There's enough long straights in here. But the only problem he's got is all the riders want to be at the front, and sometimes the only way to move through the peloton is through the middle of it, and that's dangerous itself. He's trying to go up the left or the right.
Ciccone was
just
there.
Gets crazy.
Ciccone was hampered. Trying to get back in. You can't get caught behind any gaps. So Giulio Ciccone trying to wrestle his way back up. Giacomo Mosca has dropped back to try and help him out. This is desperate stuff for these guys. Garofoli is supposed to be part of the lead-out to train for Paul Magnier as part of Soudal Quickstep. He's compromised as well. And Ben Turner also out of shape, out of position at the moment as we come by this.
The referee in the bib there, the blue bib, yellow, he's just monitoring this in the left-hand side there. So he's one of the commissaires. They actually gapped. They actually pulled some of the cars out to leave a gap in there, which I think is not the nicest thing to do, but Mosca is on it. He's up to the car of one of the other commissaires. He pulls out. They're onto their team car, and it looks as if they're sending another rider back there, because Ciccone is Lidl Trek's GC man. I think he will come back, but a big effort, and not only is he going to come back, they're going to go into these difficult sections again.
Listen, they've lost Crow Anderson, not entirely, but certainly hampered, and looked very, very winded. That's going to knock him back out of the lead out. They've now had to send, well, basically the troops back to get Giulio Ciccone back in, because gaps are important, of course. So he's going to get back in. But every single person that they sent, Jacopo Mosca's gone back, Carlos Verona's had a dig. It's leaving fewer and fewer riders to help Mads Pedersen in his endeavour to get towards the front. The pink jersey's had a real tough time. He's been caught out on a number of occasions. He might have even been down today. There is the pink jersey still. I know it's 14.7 kilometres to go, but with all these squeezes, he's constantly having to battle just to make up another 10 metres, another 10 metres. It's a hard task.
This is a perfect start to the Giro d'Italia for them, isn't it? But then you throw in a day like today, and it's been, you know, the bad luck has been kind of thrown at them. But I think Mads is experienced enough not to panic, just to use, you know, bits of the course to move up when he can.
Breathless stuff. Oh, we've got, and look at this big phalanx of riders from Lidl Trek have gone back for Ciccone. Almost, I think Christmas cards lists needs to be added to for Ben Turner here, because he's basically been getting a free toe to get himself back into contention for today. Likewise, you could say the same for Garofoli, who's got a job to do, doing the job out front. Look at VF Group Bardiani, Zoncanello, Fiorelli. Not quite sure which one of those it's going to be today, possibly Fiorelli as team principal. They went very quiet earlier on today, did not engage to get mountains points, and you can see why, Brian. It's as you said.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the double bend coming up soon.
Yeah, this is horrible.
I'm so pleased that the riders are getting to see this run in towards the finish, because if this was coming in blind, this would have been, I think, a little bit more chaos than it already is.
Right, they'll be hearing the bell before you know it, but look how wide they are. What's this? 15 wide? They'll be able to get to about 6 wide in a very short space of time. This is not pleasant stuff. There's about 2 kilometres to go before we actually get to that point. We'll count you in. This is your first squeeze. Ouch! Everybody just bide your time. There's some gone over to the barriers, including a few from EF Education. I think Owen Dool, but was it, found himself over to that side of the road. Hopefully he gets back in. Can be quick in certain circumstances, and maybe these are those, along with Honoré and, of course, Casper Askreen, who's used to fighting. Got to be. And suddenly it widens out again, which offers up more road space. Riders go into that space, then they're going to get squeezed again, Brian.
They are. We're just coming up to the back, or we're just almost in the part that Anders Melka was, and it's going to go to the left, and there's a couple of other kind of left-hand turns, so at least they're getting to see it. That was a double bend that I think Caden Grove said, yeah, but they had to be very wary of.
There we go, big compression coming up. You can see riders almost on the brakes. It would be a flood of red if they had brake lights about them, and now they pick it up. Safest way through it is to spear through it. Why don't you? Also in a good place here is Richard Carapaz, very sensible. Keep it up front. Here's that squeeze. Round they come, double phase, so they go into it once, almost sit up and then lean back in again. And this only is where you get a sight of the finish line. It's a horrible one, Brian.
Yeah, not nice at all. You know, I've seen worse, but, you know, in modern cycling now, they're trying to make it as safe as possible. I think there are about 2 or 3 key pinch points that the riders have already seen.
So they sail over in a good place, actually. It's Piggy posted on. Casper van Unden has had a look-see here. Ecuadorian fans making their feelings felt here. Oh, my goodness. Somebody needs to get their collar felt for this design, I've got to say. 11.6 kilometres to go. Here we go then, Brian. Next time by, we have a winner. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, well, I still think it's going to be Olav Koy, but Moschetti is a close bet for me as well.
There we are. Well, I'm actually going to go for a very odd, cheeky side bet today. Tor Gudmustad has been kept very quiet. I think it's either going to be him or Paul Magnier I'm going to have a dig at today. Magnier is the better choice for Soudal Quickstep, but they've been so clever. It would be an amazing result for them if they do it. Koy is the out-and-out favourite. That is for certain. Lots of people just kind of looking around as if to say, what the hell was that?
Yeah, look at they're going down the circuit they've already done. They'll know that, you know, there's potential trip-up places. They'll know it, and you see Mads Pedersen there. He's still looking relaxed, but yeah, this is a tricky circuit. I think everybody knew it was going to be tricky, and you had to use your, you know, the cavalry sooner rather than later. But yeah, it's setting itself up to, as we predicted, a very chaotic sprint finish here.
Don't forget, 5 kilometres from home is where indeed the safety line has been drawn. So any crashes after that, you won't lose time. The problem is that the clock does roll, and if there are gaps indeed later on, then those who are still upright are going to get caught behind them potentially. Finally, we see Decathlon AG Tour La Mondiale just getting themselves up and into position. I think that is Goodmestead who's finally found himself up front.
It's the same place as Soren Krauh there,
yep.
just on the left.
Yeah, keep it sensible. Some actually thinking about doing a half right-hander and knowing that they can cut back in. But look for the pink jersey at the moment. Nowhere to be seen out front. Almost constantly, all of his team, the cavalry, are sent back to get Ciccone, which means that even if they've got the demeanour and the will, have they got the legs after bringing Ciccone back into the fray? Still no sight here of the pink skin suit, which is being worn by Mads Pedersen. They lean into this. I've got to say, if that is Ben Turner, I think it is. Josh Tarling potentially at the front, keeping these sensible. For Ineos Grenadiers, it is Tarling that's TTing absolutely everybody, waiting to see if Ben Turner can get back. Might even be Tarling himself if he decides to leave it all behind.
Well, Tarling's looking after the Colombian champion there, Bernal. So there's a lot of GC riders being looked after because they know it's, you know, they could be losing out here. It's okay with the 5K rule, but the last thing they want is a GC leader crashing.
Pedersen is there, being followed, traced, if you will, by Aldous Aular at the moment. Meanwhile, back here, this is Jimmy Janssens, who's done his job for the day. He's on a ride in. Meanwhile, a ride out, and guess what? A hit out from Arkea B&B. Red tunics with the black shoulders coming up, spearing up the centre of the road. Not that far away from proceedings is Tom Pidcock, actually keeping it sensible. And in a skirmish situation, you just never know. If it was raining, he'd probably be even happier, quite frankly. Here we go. And again, another squeeze because of this roundabout. They take a big circle and then just start to head down to another right-hander on a gently curving left road they're going to be dealing with. See the camera start to accent that for you in a short while. But now in a safe place. Tarling's done a fantastic job. Likewise, EF education for Richard Carapaz. Roglic won't be that far away either. Looking for the pink skin suit still. He's made his way quietly back up, but it's about to go very loud indeed. And here come Alpecin de Koenig with Caden Groves, who's got a very sensible lead-out train in front of him at the moment. Coy's under pressure here, and you see a few others getting involved. Fretin's also involved here with the golden shoulders in the red tunic, and just on the other side of the road, Marco Brenner for Tudor Pro Cycling is build your approach, Brian, with all of these twists and turns and squeezes.
Yeah, it's torture watching this, but you know, Picnic Post are now in the middle there. They've got some numbers up towards the front, but in the grey, Alpecin de Koenig as well.
Oh, here it comes.
Nobody's going to hold back here. It's going to be the same. Squeeze.
Ooh, almost just about get it, bit of contact, and thankfully there was no barriers on the left as they suddenly got a release to go on the underpass. That was so dangerous. Whistleman there as well with a padded road sign just in case anyone gets tagged. And Magnier is being brought up here, brilliant by Pseudo Quickstep. Fiorelli and Zoncanello in the pale blue are absolutely where they need to be for VF Group Bardiani. 7.2 kilometres to go. Another big turn for them to deal with. And in fact, they're just going to scream down 2.5 kilometres before we get to the 5Ks, and then a big swooper to turn themselves around and start to head back towards the start-finish line.
We're talking about a big turn here. Josh Tarling here doing a massive turn to help Bernal. He's in the perfect position, just on the right-hand side there. You can see the pink jersey just about squeezing up and coming to the front for the first time in a few kilometres now.
Dan Uhl is the only man that Mads Pedersen has as a lead-out man. So he's lost Vacek. I can't see Vacek. Oh no, there he is. Vacek is there. Thank goodness for that. So he's got all Vacek. That's okay. He hasn't got Krauh Anderson, but a shortened team. Meanwhile, Olaf Koy almost freewheeling here just to stay off the back wheel of his main leader man who has stayed with him. This is fantastic. It's a Feeney, not Van Aert at the moment.
Van Aert's on the right-hand side. He's trying to move up, but also you've got the Decathlon with Sam Bennett with numbers on the right-hand side. This is a kind of holding pattern for the moment. You can see a few riders trying to go through gaps that really aren't there. Patrick Conrad was trying to move up. He knows that without Soren Krauh, they need as much firepower at the front as much as possible. But Italy's Grenadiers doing a terrific job looking after their riders. They've got a lot of them up here towards the front looking after Bernal.
Good luck, everybody. 5.9 kilometres to go. Tudor Pro Cycling on the left-hand side of the road, and a good flotilla of Picnic Post NL as well. Romain Bardet is the man that they're trying to protect, but Casper van Unden is also here and might get to stretch his legs today. Here, another big turn. Sam Bennett's in position, by the way.
Yeah, he's up there with Decathlon, and he's got teammates to be able to help him, but it's a Tudor Pro Cycling that now take over proceedings at the front. Italy's Grenadiers still with numbers on the left-hand side. Decathlon, AG2R. You can see the yellow jerseys of Affini and Olaf Kai being pushed back. I don't think Wout van Aert has managed to get up here. We're only a couple of hundred metres out from the crucial point for the GC contenders. That's why they're up here fighting.
Well, you can see Little Trek just on the far side, almost screened at the moment by a whole phalanx of Decathlon AG2 Le Mondial riders working for Sam Bennett. Meanwhile, Tarling still doing a fantastic job with his Go Faster stripe on his helmet here. Gets the release. Tarling's done his job. He pulls to one side, and now it is going to be a sprint pickup. Sam Bennett is in a great position at the moment.
Yeah, it's still Tarling at the front here for Ineos. Sam Bennett is over on the far side in third place for his Decathlon teammates. Picnic Post NL have got 4 riders towards the front as well, so you know they're looking good. 4.5 kilometres to go. Still a way to go, because you really want to be nudging at the front about 3 kilometres, maybe 2.5 kilometres out, because of the technical nature. A lot of riders have been forced into the wind.
This is a little bit of respite right now. We're going to come up over essentially the overpass from what we had earlier on today. Corbin Strong's being brought up here. Dan Uhl and Nick Schultz trying to work for him for Israel Premier Tech with their white right-hand sleeve. Now we've got this roundabout to deal with. I believe there's only one way around this. It's a spear over. Josh Tarling still doing a fantastic job out front. So are Decathlon AG2 Le Mondial for Sam Bennett. He's in a fantastic place. Looking at the pink jersey, out of position at the moment. Coy's in a better spot. Still 3.7 kilometres to go, but time running out to move up. No panic yet from Mads Pedersen. He's still just looking for his teammates. Starting to find them right now, but it's shilly-shally out front. Bernal doing his part of the lead out here. This is brilliant.
Yeah, he's been looked after well until now, and you know, managing to come inside the last 5 kilometres. So GC guys are safe, but trying to kind of help out the lead out, as you say. But Olaf Koy's got Affini to help him. Still, Wout van Aert is further back in the peloton.
Is Ben Turner back in here, or is it going to be for, Ben Turner, by the looks of things? 3.1 kilometres to go. That's for Ineos Grenadiers. Little bit of more bumping and bruising, and still Mads Pedersen is out of position with 3 kilometres to go. Hasn't been able to make the move just for now. Olaf Koy is in about wheel 30 as we look at it for now. Check this out. What a lead-in for Decathlon AG2 Le Mondial and Sam Bennett. 2.7 kilometres to go.
Yeah, looking up, and you can also see the grey jerseys of Alpecin de Koning up there. I think Plowright and, of course, Caden Groves. But for the moment, Decathlon AG2 are looking very good for the moment anyway. But we've got some movement there. We can see the pink jersey, and he's got Vacek behind him, but as you say, they're in about 30th position. They're running out of road to move up.
They are. Gerben Tyson, by the way, for Intermarché Wanty. Could be a spectacular result for them. Running in third wheel now, just behind Alpecin de Koning. Ineos still in a very good position. Yeah,
Ben Turner has made it up towards the front now, but just look behind him. Just look at the numbers of grey jerseys there that are up there. Zeelard also for Tudor Pro Cycling, but I think as we kind of pan out a little bit, there'll be a lot of kind of riders panicking now to move up, because we're getting to this double phase of corners in the next couple of 100 metres.
Not that far away now. Probably in about wheel 18 is Mads Pedersen. Not panicking is one thing, but then there's a sense of urgency as the ship starts to sink. Meanwhile, Decathlon now moving up. They've swapped duties here. I'm not quite sure whether that was part of the battle plan, but Alpecin fold over each other. Olaf Koy's in position. Also coming up is Orlus Aulav for Movistar. Not much space, but he'll just try his level best to kick the door open and invite himself to the party. The same thing with Vacek, left now solely for Mads Pedersen. So the young riders classification leader now is going to interchange with the overall leader, and there he is, loud and proud in pink here. Meanwhile, over the other side, Olaf Koy, Flamme Rouge.
Yep. Coming round this double phase of corners, if we whack round there with the Alpecin de Koenig now at the front, and few riders get caught out there having to go the long way around. Still enough room here, but Affini goes now with Koy on the wheel, but there's two riders that actually were off the front there.
Ooh, but, bump and bruise within that pinch point. Sam Bennett was involved within that. He can pick himself back up. There's still retrieval time, but not a whole lot of it. Alpecin de Koenig, Caden Groves waiting to release himself. Koy's in a great place. Mads Pedersen is back in the frame here. Also skirmishing is Milan Fretal. Here we go then. Big drive in, and Casper van Unden is in a fantastic place. Likewise, Zylo there in third wheel. Koy's going to have to do this on his own. Mads Pedersen is boxed out for the time being. 500 metres, still a couple of turns to be taken. They're going to squeeze over towards the left. Who's going to stand loud and proud right now as they open it up? It's now to try and deliver if you possibly can. Ben Turner's in a decent place, but so is Koy here. In fact, it's his lead-out man who's still struggling to try and find him, Affini. And now it's time to go for it. If you've got it, Ben Turner's coming over one side. Mads Pedersen's on the other. Clear road is potentially what you've got. Van Unden's in the frame here. Big flow for Zylard on the line. Who's going to get there? Oh my goodness, that's a massive win for Picnic Post now. So late in the day. That was about timing and poise, and they absolutely delivered it. That's a huge result for them.
Yeah, Casper van Uden takes that one. Stage here, the first stage in Italy. But I have to tell you that Mads Pedersen got up there, looked as if he gets second. The aero helmets on, they were totally up for doing this. And they rode it from the front, which in the end turned out to be the best way of doing it, through those corners towards the finish, because everybody else was getting blocked and couldn't get sprinted. We said it right from the start. All a team manager wants is the rider to be able to sprint come the end. Look at the speed. Where's Caden Groves? Look at where Caden Groves goes. Barrier side, switches to the left-hand side.
Oh, fastest finisher, Caden Groves.
Yeah, so was Olaf Koy. But they were just in the wrong place. And it was the lead out in the end, but taking it on from the front. But even so, Carlton, Casper van Uden, when you look at the results coming into this race, you wouldn't think form guide. No. Delivered in a day.
He got there. And that's the important thing. You know, when everyone else around you is losing their head, make sure you keep yours. That was a classy piece of delivery. Casper van Unden takes it ahead of Olaf Koy. Mikkel Zylard of Tudor Pro Cycling in third place, ahead of Mads Pedersen, Max Canter, Caden Groves. Happy car. Paul Magnier was eighth, ahead of Ben Turner of Ineos Grenadiers. Oh dear, that was just gorgeous. Casper van Unden takes the day ahead of Olaf Koy, Zylard, Pedersen. Moschetti there in 10th place it was, just behind Ben Turner, Paul Magnier. Sam Bennett was in the frame, Caden Groves, very quick finishing, but you had to be clever. Nobody more so today than Casper van Unden. Rondon Colm, don't forget, last year, and a couple of stages on the ZLM Tour, so it functions well amongst fast men. Today he was amongst fast men, and he proved to be the fastest, and it was down to timing.
Yeah, I saw him developing a couple of years ago in the Tour of Britain. He came and he got close to a few of the kind of top sprinters in that race, and that was the first time I really saw him. I know that the Lula Tour, he won a stage and beat some really good finishers. But this is huge for him to come into first Grand Tour, not having, he said, you know, the lead outs were going well, but he didn't get the results. But it just goes to show you sometimes that you can come into the biggest race you've ever ridden without the results, but if the team believes in you and the team is able to look after you, and you heard from him that put him in the right place, they believed he could win, and he showed that. Yeah, of course, Caden Groves and Olaf Koy were finishing very quickly, but I think it's just the teamwork. It's such a chaotic last kind of 20-30 kilometres, but they were there the whole time. They were looking after, and you have to say that he was able to sprint, and he had the safest and possibly easiest ride to the finish. You heard him, he only had to sprint the last kind of couple of 100 metres. Everybody else was left fighting, especially that man in pink.
Check this out. There's a photo decision for third place on the day, which you're looking at right now. So maybe our results are provisional just for now. Let's hear from Olaf Koy, who's the out-and-out favourite for today. Difficult status to live up to when I certainly am.
Thank you so much. Congrats.
Nice, safe signature there. Overall standings, Mads Pedersen is there. 7 seconds from Primoz Roglic, Matthias Vacek, his Little Trek teammate. Look at the the United Arab Emirates, McNulty, Del Toro, Ayuso being careful. Max Paul still up there, Tiberi, Stora, Pellizzar.